Welcome back to Judith Plains, Montana. I'm BP, and this is the Triple Five Challenge. Good morning from October. It is still warm in Judith Plains, 61 degrees on the first day of October. As you guys saw, just had the Volvo running back to fill slurry up and take down the BGA. We're in the Magnum, heading over to take care of that clover field we purchased a couple episodes ago. Going to get all that mowed and baled up and taken in, put into our silage production silo so we can make some money down at the BGA with that. And then we're going to clear this field and have it planted with wheat. So, assuming this is all ready to go, let's see. Growth stage, ready to harvest. We are good to go. So, thinking 2 headlands, start on the center. We can do rounded corners. This is just for silage. This is not going to be a big pull, so let's go ahead and I think it's going to be a couple more passes than that. There we go. May need to make that 3 headlands because those long sloping sides on the top tend to be a problem, and I didn't actually want to get started. We wanted to regenerate that course with 3 headlands. There we go. And there's going to be a whole bunch at the end there we're going to miss. We'll work on that. Alright, so over here in the barley field from last episode, we have the mulcher out, just getting the mulching done. Did get all of the bales pulled off of that field. Looking at my notes, we pulled about 328,000 liters of barley off of that field and put it over in the beer production. So, just did not hit that button. All right, let's run back over here. We're going to jump into the menu and take a quick look at the Yuengling production now that we own it. You can see 336,000 liters of barley in there. We are at 300% speed, cranking out beer just as fast as we can. I do wonder how much we got overnight. Here's another one of the updates. I told you guys when we bought the beer factory, we put in an entrance just like we did down here on the Jack Daniels facility. Cut the fence, ran the path in there, so now we can get in and out of there easily. So with that in mind, how much beer did we end up with? Oh, we still have our whiskey over here to pick up. Got a couple pallets of beer. Not too bad. Maybe we'll run the Super Duty over here a little bit later and get all that stuff picked up. So, in other big news, the soybean field is still not ready, but take a look at the golden ways of corn. We have so much corn to harvest. I'm thinking we wait for day 2, get all of our animal work done, get everything all set up, and then come back and get the corn later. So let's see. Still hoping for a second harvester. There just is not going to be a second harvester in the sale. We're just not that lucky. Lots of good equipment, but not another harvester. How much is another harvester? Let's see. We'd probably go with the Colossus, but we would want it to be the, let's see. Yeah, the case makes it 609. Put the case skin on it. So we've got some money to make. So let's run back. Let's check in on our animals, get all of them taken care of. Had some messages from the herdsman this morning. Probably have a couple sick animals if I had to guess. So looking at the sheep, check our messages. Herdsman bought 1 animal, 1 died to an accident, 1 died to an accident, 2 babies died at birth. So these babies dying at birth that are correlated with the selling don't count. And actually we're in October, so we had 1 died to an accident and the herdsman bought 1 animal. Okay. Seems like we're in pretty good shape. Maybe we should consider selling some rams. what is the herdsman actually set up to do? He's enabled, don't mark. He's going to sell the males anywhere from 1 year on. So how are we going to have reproduction if he sells them at 1 year? I'm wondering if that is a challenge. So let's have him sell animals. Have him sell the ram or the ram babies, the little ram lambs, I guess they're called. Who knows? And then buying, we want him to buy male animals between 1 year and 1 year 6 months. Let's just bump that up to 2 years and 1 year 6 months so that they are automatic. Excellent. So not much to do there. They do have 113,000 liters of food. They'll be good through the rest of October. Not a problem. The chickens, got a bunch of eggs we're going to have to figure out what to do with. And check the messages. Contracted avian flu. So let's see. Can we filters? Has a disease. Confirm. Why are all of these? These are all diseased animals. Can we treat them? All right, diseases. Why can we not start treatment? Okay, this must be a new feature. Why are all of these in red? Diseased animals are right here. It says they have avian flu. So do we just select it like this? Base none, next menu, filters, back. I mean, I'm going to sell selected if you're going to force me to do that. So, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 animals had disease, plus maybe 1 last month, so we sold all those. Okay. They're good to go, and they have 26,000 liters of food. Always a good amount for them. Heading back over here. Oh, so we have diseased animals. Okay, so can we treat? We can treat. It was weird that we couldn't treat the chickens. I must be missing something. So filters, we want disease. Confirm. Okay, so we treated all of them. Great news. So started treatment for mastitis. Herdman sold 5 animals. 1 died due to accident. Gave birth. Yeah. Oh, and that was the halfway point of the month. So yeah, we're right here. Died due to an accident. Bought 5 and started treatment. Excellent. And food, 351,000 out of 500,000. Good to go. What was their milk production? Milk is 550 liters. Must have already been picked up by the dairy truck. Now, the other change I made over here, we've been fighting. Oh, okay. Well, the change didn't take. That's weird. So I got rid of this gate and put a gate in up here with this new fence so we wouldn't have any conflicts with getting vehicles in and out, and the gate has come back, which is interesting. So we're unable to sell it through the construction menu. Have tried that several times in several different ways. If we come in here, there's no way to click on this. So if we come in and we attempt to hide the gate, which is what we did before, there it's gone. That's great news. And then what we did was we came in here and put a fence in. I was going to share this with you guys since it was already done, but now we're learning that it is undone. So this area up here should be the width of, yep, just like that, you see. And actually, I think what we want to do is start on this side. Have it come right to there. And now we just leave the gate open. And we're good to go. Now the trucks can get out of there. Oh, we're having some sort of gate conflict. Well, that's super interesting. Now we have an open gate. Okay. We're going to leave that open and see what happens with the next save, because that is, you know, that's interesting. And I'm tired of fighting that gate, so we'll see what happens. But let's finish checking on the buffalo pen. All right, we have one diseased animal. Love that they're marked. That is so incredibly helpful. Oh, that was in the buy menu. Not helpful. Okay, so we come in here. Diseases. Okay, this guy's immune. This guy's immune. So maybe the chickens were immune. Maybe we didn't need to sell them. Okay. So they're good to go. Messages from today. Herdsman sold animals. 2 animals for $2,600. All right. This all sounds good so far. We have 447,000 liters of food in here. The straw is full. 85,000 liters of manure. And 464 liters of buffalo mozzarella. So we are in good stead overall. 100% fertilized, growth stage 2. It's probably worth getting the puma out. Is the puma over here? Where is the puma? Getting the puma out and sending it over to the barley field to put some fertilizer down, put some manure down. Get that field prepped as well. There's the puma. Well, do we want to do that, or should we just go bale? We probably should just go bale the clover. Let's grab this guy and let's have him stop real quick. I don't think there's going to be much left. He should go pick up the buffalo milk. Alright, so instead of picking it up here, we're going to pick up at the buffalo barn. We're going to pick up buffalo milk. Wonderful. And away he goes. So we'll have to figure out the spreading of the manure here in a minute. But I think it's probably more important that we get that clover baled up and brought back than we get the muck spreading on the other field. We do have the ability to put fertilizer into our planter, so we could do a little something with that. And you know, if we don't have time, but with 2-day months, I really feel like we should be in good shape. Now, this field was planted and rolled. All right, we're going to have to do weeds in there too. Is it worth buying the mechanical weeder so we don't have to buy the spray? Because we're getting it at such a early stage. I wonder how much that mechanical weeder is. Let's take a look at the sale and at the shop and just see what that cost is and see if it's worth making the transition to the mechanical weeder. I prefer the sprayer because you can do it at any phase of the process, but obviously the herbicide is more expensive. Wow, is the mower done? I think the mower... maybe it's on its last. I think it's on its last pass. Well, let's jump into the mower. And we want to post that to the clipboard. And we want to come in here. We have to clear the chorus before we can load the next chorus. Let's load it. And let's have this guy start at the first waypoint. Should be good to go. Get all of this baled up. Alright, we're off for clover bales. More silage for the BGA. Probably going to be what's going to help us be able to afford a second harvester and corn header, quite frankly, because we are going to need it for the corn harvest we do next in-game day. So, alright, he is off and running. Get those turned off. Let's take a look at the sale and at the weeders. See if we have a weeder in here. That's a huge weeder for $18,000. Takes 250 to 450 horsepower. Yeah, that is... Wow, I mean, that's a big weeder for $18,000. I don't know, I sort of like the Vridesteins. What do we have? No, we only have the one option. Yeah, I sort of like that tire. $18,361 for a 15.3 meter working width. I mean, that seems like less money than we spent on herbicide. So, yeah. Easy money on that one. Let's jump into the old Super Duty. And we'll leave our trailer here. And let's send this guy up to the shop, and we'll have him bring back the weeder, and we'll weed that barley field as well today. Just, you know, when you have 250 acres, which, guys, I posted in the title of the last video, but we didn't say specifically, we have reached 250 acres, which means we are, you know, basically at this point halfway to our land goal, which is absolutely crazy. So very, very exciting. All right, had to find the shop. Took me a minute. All right, so he's going to head up there and grab that. We'll ride with him for a minute. Interesting that he's going... Oh, he's going to cut out that way. Keep forgetting that we've added to our auto drive network. Let's run down to the logistics center, see if there's anything we need to sell this morning. I feel like there's something in the back. I feel like we saw that earlier. Yeah, there are 2 pallets. What are they? 2 pallets of butter. Of course it's butter. Are we... Is butter still on storing? Is that what the issue is? Butter's on distributing. Okay, interesting. All right, let's see. Beer at the farmer's market once again is a good price. Buffalo mozzarella we can't sell. Butter again at the small farmer's kiosk is another good price. Only $21,000 there. Goat's milk, Country View Dairy. We're not making a ton of money. We already sold most of that stuff. Maybe we just do... I mean, again, the beer is only $25,000, but the butter is $21,000, so we can make $46,000. You know, just going to the small farmer's kiosk and the farmer's market. So maybe we do that. So we'll jump in here. We'll head down to butter. Turn that to storing. And let's go ahead and grab all these. That looks like 8. This would be 9. Maybe. There's the 9th. We'll get the butter back to distributing. And beer is the other option here that makes any sense. Yeah, we're just not making very much money on any of these other things. Total mixed ration, almost $1 million. I mean, we might have to sell some total mixed ration if it pays the bills. We will have to see. All right, let's get the doors closed. Let's flip around here. Oh, that's going to be tight. That's in the field. Oh, we just glanced it. And didn't even need to because that pole has no collision, so it was an unnecessary risk. Oh, and our sunflowers are ready. Maybe we harvest sunflowers today. That would be good. Wouldn't take too long. Now, we're not going to pick up whiskey. We already did that once by accident. So let's head in here. We do have some whiskey that is sitting over here from the last time. Maybe we see, do we get all of it? Yeah, we're going to have to pull up. I bet we get the other. We get a couple whiskey pallets as well. Yeah, let's just get it all. Is whiskey even close to selling? Because we could just get this stuff sold. That wouldn't be too bad. Whiskey 33, we're off by 400. be losing $5,000. So I'm going to go with no. We're not going to sell the whiskey today. But here we are. We can use our new exit entrance to the Yingling facility. Gonna end up getting real close to that fence. Whew, that was tight. So the beer goes to the farmer's market. As we learned so critically last episode, you have to sell pallets at the pallet sell point. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. But that is how selling works on the map. Alright, gonna switch this up to beer. Right, we have all the beer. Go ahead and get that sold. There's a quick 12. Oh, 24,000. Do we get it all? Didn't feel like it was going to sell in 2 rounds, but it did. Alright, so if we're going to sell the rest of this butter, which I think is a good idea, we'll take it to the farmer's kiosk. I'm happy to do that, but if we are going to do sunflowers today, let's get that started. This is going to be a tough little pickup here with the grain pipe out the back. Got to make sure we clear the barn in our turnaround area. And remember, the sunflowers are going right down to the oil field. The oil production. Got that new oil mod on the brain. The oil field. We have to the oil production to produce sunflower oil for us. I'm wondering how much sunflower oil do we already have? Let's take a quick look at that. The oil plant. We are plumb out. We got nothing. So we're not producing any oil right now, which means this is going to be a much needed resupply of the sunflowers to get the oil production back up and running and make us some money. I'm hoping that that is the case quad track that just finished work, though it's probably the Magnum just finishing its mowing, because obviously we're going to need the quad track for the carting. It really feels like we need a second case quad track some of the time. I can't really effectively say we do, and I've forgotten we can't actually cross the bridge here. This is Judith Plains. We are off-road harvesters. Go real slow. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Getting exciting. Alrighty. Let's get pulled onto the field. Beautiful. And do we have... I don't think we have a harvesting... Let's see, we don't have one for, it's 64 the field we're on, is that where we are? 64 corn we do have. So, clear current course, load course, start at the first waypoint. Let's see how all that goes. Are you calculating how to get there? What are we doing here, folks? It says it's doing it. It doesn't seem to be moving. Maybe... give it one more try. Oh, it had to fold up. We did have 500 liters in there, so maybe that was part of it. Okay, you fold it up. Are we going to go anywhere now? You actually have to get to work there, bud. Can't just sit here lollygagging all day. Alright, well, you know, in that case, we'll just come in here and we will create the course. 3 headlands, no rounded corners. Okay, makes sense. Like that. And then we're on field 64. Change mode, delete entry. Change mode to save course. And we're coming back with a 64C for corn. On his way. Or her way. Guess it's her way. That's okay. Glad to have a female driver. Alright, let's see. Can we get around this first little bit without getting caught on the bridge? Would be ideal to not get caught on the bridge. Just gonna watch for just a minute. Oh, we're cutting in here hard, aren't we? Alright, so... Are we gonna head up? Come on. We gotta go figure out who's finished their work so we can figure out who is... Okay, perfect. That should be the only potential hang-up for the harvester. So it is the Magnum that's finished, as we sort of suspected. We'll get this guy returned. I am wondering why the quad track isn't done yet. Does seem a little bit like it should be done by now. We can go check on it here in a minute. We also have the weeder up at the store and the Super Duty's up there to go grab that. So maybe we'll check on the quad track and then we'll drive the Super Duty back with the weeder and hopefully have a grain cart over there so the sunflower harvest can keep on moving as we get going here. May need to... We're going to have to get one of those semi-trucks going for hauling the sunflowers down to the oil mill. So, a lot to take in here, I guess, is what I'm saying. Alrighty. Go ahead and get this guy parked in the shed. And we'll drop this guy right about here. And away we go. Let's leave him right here. And theoretically, yeah, that's why the quad track isn't done. Full reverse into a tree. We've had issues with this part of the hill before. We may end up... Oh, don't get caught on the tree on the bottom. Yeah, there's going to be no saving that. So, tree has to go. I think it was the baler that ended up down here in the river, too. I feel like maybe the field is just a little too steep. Maybe a little too far over the edge here. Man, that is full power on the quad track, trying to get it to come around up that hill. Alright, let's get this guy rolling. Because we need him to run grain cart. So maybe we will have the Magnum drive the grain cart over to the sunflower field. No, just a little structural wheelbarrow handle there, no big deal. And be in preparation for the Magnum or the quad track to be done. As we know, the Magnum can do the carting, but we're on that hill and it gets pushed a little bit and it just seems like we want the quad track to be over there as a better option. I'm a bit surprised that the harvester hasn't called for an unload yet. Sort of wait and see what that's about. I've said this in previous episodes and I'll say it again. Having the field right by your farm planted as grass is always one of my priorities. Just so nice to be able to get things out and not have to worry about driving to the corner of a cornfield. As you're coming out of your farm is always where you have the most traffic, the most likelihood of something sort of funny happening. Just love having the grass right there. Look at that. Needs to be unloaded. Near perfect timing. So we'll get this over here. Maybe we'll even do one round of unloading so the harvester can keep on working And then we'll go grab the Super Duty and bring back our on-sale weeder. 15 meters of weeding power for $18,000. Can't really complain about that. Got a good deal on it. So, making good progress. I said the last 2 episodes, probably sound like a broken record at this point, but very, very happy. Don't drive on the field. Oh, well, yep, there you are. We're getting pushed. Got to slow down. Very, very happy we went to 2-day months. Just so much nicer. If we had to get all this done, and guys, we haven't even started harvesting the biggest field we have, the cornfield. So just imagine if we had to do all of that in addition to everything else we're trying to get done today. So just thrilled to be in 2-day months. Probably what we're going to have to run the rest of the series, just because of how much land we have. Even with the AI worker help, it is a ton of work to get done. Back up at the shop. Grab our weeder. Head on back. Had to find a spot to park the weeder. I didn't really think about that before we bought it. It's one of the other challenges with buying more equipment. Our farmyard is not really getting any bigger. Shouldn't say that. Our farmyard is not getting any bigger. So I do wonder, though, that little area on the far side of the grass field where we have the trees that come winter we're going to start pulling down and taking to the mill. I almost wonder if we could put a shed or 2 back there for some of this more seasonal equipment, things that we don't use all the time. Got to swing wide, even with that front dolly. This is the smallest version of this weeder we could get. This is still a huge piece of equipment. The Super Duty is, we are hammer down 40 miles an hour, as good as it gets for us. So, sneak in here, and we'll head on back. Finished work on the top, almost right corner there, guys. I have to imagine that is the quad track. Could be the baler. Could be. Would be disappointing if we got the clover field mowed and baled before the mulching was done on that field, and we started the mulching first. That was literally the first thing we did. So, would be a bit disappointing, but we'll get through it if we have to. Like I said, some days it does feel like having 2 quad tracks is the answer. I just don't know that it's worth the money. I think it's probably a much better and more useful way to spend the money is to get our loan paid down, that rather than buying another $500,000 or $500,000+ tractor. So we will see. So let's get this guy pulled up, staged over here by the barley field. I think the horsepower, we're at 250. We might, do we have 250 in the versatile? It might be 240. Be really close either way. But we'll get this guy tucked back away. Do have to try to keep the vehicles at least somewhat organized. We have enough going on now that leaving stuff all over the place is just never the answer. So, you know what? Let's do it. It is the quad track. And we still have to get wheat planted over here in that field over there. So, and that's to keep the flour production going. I am wondering, I'm having a thought here, guys. We should look at our production rates. If we have too much barley that we can't keep up with the beer, can we do barley flour? Is that a thing? Let's see. The Rocky Mountain Ethanol Flour Mill manage. Okay, there is barley flour. Okay, so if we have too much barley, we could turn it to flour. I was thinking maybe we should plant wheat in the big field and barley over there in the small field, only because if the beer factory can't keep up with the barley we have, then we'd be losing opportunity to have more bread. But if we can make barley flour, then it really isn't much of a big deal to be able to do that. So, not real sure what's going on with the Puma. Doesn't seem to be moving over there. We'll have to check in on that guy next. We are going to cut this guy off a little bit. And we're going to leave our mulcher right here. And that way we'll bring the Magnum back, drag the mulcher back over there, pick up the weeder, and start weeding this field. Still need to do manure spreading. That may be a project for tomorrow in-game. Certainly has been a full first day in October, and we are not even to 11 a.m. yet. Just absolutely trying to get through all these tasks and get everything done as best we can. The equipment shuffle is real. We discussed earlier on how in getting more fields and moving further away from the farm, that equipment transport was going to become a bigger deal. And we certainly are driving more and more and more each episode. So this quad track, 274.8 miles on it, which for a quad track is quite a bit. Only 57 working hours. Just means we're doing a lot of driving. So let's get the Magnum swapped. Can't imagine that the harvester, you can see the sunflower in the top of the harvester there. We are very close to full. So let's get them all situated. And square it up a little bit. Perfect. We are going to make sure we have this field properly identified. Perfect. Unload combine. Good to go. Full grain tank. See if we can see him. See if we see the quad track head out here, but as we drive away. There we go. That was darn near perfect timing there, folks. Doesn't get a lot better than that. Let's hook up to the mulcher, and then let's check in on the Puma, which seems to be having some struggles, and go from there. And then I think we'll try to sell the, what we have, we have butter to sell at the small farmers kiosk still today, just to try to keep the money coming in. We'll probably pretty much call it an episode there. Got a good amount of the groundwork done for everything we need to do. We can plant barley and wheat over there next episode in the second day of October. Get all that stuff done. Double check that we can plant barley over there next month. Have to check and see. I feel like we talked about that. But I know we can do winter wheat. Let's take a quick peek at that. So, barley. Yeah, barley we can plant in October, and wheat we can plant in October, so we're good to go. Both of those fronts. Not too shabby. All right. So I think the order of business is get the weeder started on the barley field. Check on the Puma, figure out why it's not moving. Probably stuck on a bale. It is a new and more frequent problem we're having now that we got rid of the triple drop on the Krone baler. It had that little cart on the back that kept the bales on there, kept it more organized for us. And now without that, it does seem like the tractor is getting caught on bales much more regularly. But that is also just the name of the game. The Krone wasn't working for us anymore, so had to be replaced. And very happy with the Colossus. Just wish we weren't getting stuck on bales, which is interesting because if that was the case, I would expect it to say that we are blocked by an object, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So we'll figure it out here in just a minute. All right, up and on to the barley field. Should be fine to drive with our big tires. Yeah, we're early in the growth stage. Jump into here. I think we're going to do 2 headlands. No rounded corners. Start work on the center. I think that's going to be more than adequate. Let's go ahead and get that started. We're on field 54. Got to get a new folder. We don't have a weeder folder. All right, weeder. Save course. 54. Just want to make sure this guy gets going. Oh, yeah, he's getting rid of all those weeds. Look at that. That is lovely. Okay, what are we... Are we caught? Are we transitioning to the headland? Or we haven't had this issue in a while. Maybe the bale on the back didn't fall off and was supposed to. Having a hard time figuring out exactly what the problem was here with getting the baler running, but who knows. All right, off to that guy's at the BGA, which is fine. We got butter and whiskey. The butter's going up to the farmer's kiosk, as always. See if we can make this corner in the big Volvo. Pulling the reefer. Oh, yeah, we are good to go. Alrighty. We will head up to the small farmer's kiosk, sell the butter. You know, we're going to live dangerously. We're not going to take the whiskey out of the truck. If the whiskey sells at the farmer's kiosk, it's going to sell. Because we can't really store it anywhere. The logistics center doesn't take it. Cold storage does. We could put it back there. But it's better to have it all at the factory together, and we just don't have that option anymore. So we'll have to sort of see how that plays out. But there, see, now we're blocked by an object. That's the puma getting stuck on a bale. I believe that. Maybe we should do a quick check on it. Just got to stop here before we roll to the bridge. I'll come back, and that guy will be off the bridge and in the water taking a swim. And we don't need any swimming tractors, so try to keep that going. Remember, all those clover bales are going to go into the silage production, the silage silo to be produced into silage, which will then be taken to the BGA and used to power the BGA and sell. And look at that, more corn. Could try to pop another field here, but guys, I really think we need a second harvester for the corn harvest. I'm hoping something pops up in the sale overnight. Been looking for a couple of days now. Not going to hold my breath. It would be an extreme amount of luck if that was the case. But, you know, it would be nice. But I think with the fields we have going, we just have to have two harvesters now. So in this case, we'll need the harvester and the header. We'll have to figure out which way we're going to go with that. But certainly getting closer. So swing down the hill. Have to be careful. We have a outside banked right-hand turn. I've been known to roll the reefer. We are up on, look at that, up on a couple of wheels in the grass. We are not doing well driving our big truck. Okay, so moment of truth. We'll get the back doors open. We have butter and whiskey back here. It is not the appropriate time to sell the whiskey. However, we're just gonna see if it sells, because I'm not unloading it. I loaded it in incorrectly. We're just going to see what sells. Nope, the whiskey did not sell. $18,000 worth of butter plus $24,000 worth of, what was that? What did we sell the first place? Oh, beer. So, $42,000 this episode. Huh, you guys see that? There's a butter pallet bouncing around back there. What are you doing, friend? Two of them. That's a weird one. We drove right through there. Well, I'm glad we had the doors open and checked. It sure would have been disappointing to find out we had more butter in there. Maybe those are the two butters that were floating around the front. Maybe they're glitched at the front or something. So, anywho, this may be the second episode we're ending leaving the small farmer's kiosk. But hey, we have goods to sell. Up to $450,000. First episode in a while. We haven't bought a piece of land. Saving money for a second harvester. We have the big corn harvest to start tomorrow. A lot of that's going to go into the whiskey facility. and the rest of it's going to go to the ethanol plant. We're going to try to get into some ethanol production, whether that's just contract work, bringing them a certain amount, or if we're going to buy into it. We'll have to see sort of what the options are, but excited to sort of experiment with the ethanol plant. We are in year 5 and still getting into productions on Judith Plains. Such an incredible map, so much detail. We were still finding sell points in year 4. We're still getting into productions in year 5. Just an incredible map when it comes to details and opportunities. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Don't forget to drop a like and turn on notifications for more videos. Channel memberships are available if you'd like to support my content further, and channel members do get early access to upcoming videos. That's all for this episode, but I'll see you in the next one.